Hi, welcome to another class with Madam Gan. And then today we're going to do a class on the English language, which is Form 5. And then we are going to look at a try paper from Sarawak, and it is on continuous writing. So without any delay, let me start my presentation. Okay, I'm going to share the screen now. Especially for my students from SMK King George V. So today there is another lesson. Okay, we are doing SPM try paper. Okay, since I'm a member of the Academy YouTuber, so the tuition that I give or the online classes will be under the Academy YouTuber. And so for today, I'm going to start a lesson for English, mainly for Form 4 and also Form 5. So it will be on Monday and the time is 8 p.m. Okay, then this is a live session, and then the free online classes, they are initiative of Club Guru Malaysia, EDD Malaysia, and also Academy YouTuber. Okay, so today, as I mentioned just now, we are going to do English language for SPM, and then the focus is on continuous writing. Okay, so this is a try paper, and it is from the year 2020, and it is from Sarawak. Okay, this is the paper. If you look at paper 1, or the code is 1119/1, there are two sections in this paper. Section A is for directed writing, and section B is for continuous writing. So the focus for the lesson today is continuous writing. Okay, what is the assessment objective for continuous writing? So the objectives are to test candidates' ability to produce a piece of continuous prose in accurate standard English, and also to respond relevant and creatively to a task chosen from a number of alternatives. So a number of alternatives here are the topics given, the 5 choices. Okay, particular emphasis is placed upon the candidate's ability to. So what are you tested for in this section? Okay, section B. You must try to write sentences of various length types using a variety of sentence structures. And then you must use wide range of vocabulary with precision. Then punctuate accurately and effectively. Okay, the next one, which is number 4, write in paragraph. So you must make sure that there are paragraphs which are appropriately linked and show cohesion. So when it is linked, or the paragraph or the sentences are linked, you must have connectors and also conjunctions or linkers. And then you must spell correctly. This is about spelling. And then respond and with relevance and precision to the chosen topic. Okay, remember there are 5 options, and then you need to choose only one topic. Okay, and lastly, engage and sustain the interest of the reader. Engage and sustain the interest means your compositions or essays must be interesting. Okay, let's look at 8 things to remember for English 1119 Paper 1 Section B. Number 1, when you look at the question, you have to underline the keywords, okay, in the questions and read it several times. And then number 2, use a mind map, or you can draft out before you start writing. Each point should be followed by an elaboration and an example. So when you write, make sure that when you write, for example, an event or maybe a reason, you must give elaboration and example. Number 3, keep sentences simple and vary them with long and short sentences. Use paragraph to introduce new ideas and points. So paragraphing is very important. And then number 4, the word limit is a minimum of 350 words. A rough guide will be maybe for introduction, you can write 25 words, conclusion 25, and then you can break up the rest in 6 paragraphs of about 50 words each. This is the body or the content of the essay. Okay, number 5, don't write too much. Okay, don't write too long. But sometimes, if your English is quite good or you're proficient, you can write longer than that. Okay, if you write too long, it will cost your language points if you make grammatical and spelling errors. So be careful with the length of your essay. Okay, number 6, try practicing for at least 3 essay types. There are a few types here. Do not limit your choice to one essay type. My suggestions would be to focus on more on descriptive and narrative writing. Okay, number 7, use good vocabulary and also idiomatic expressions. And then read your essay after completing it because you need to find the grammar or the spelling errors. Okay, these are some things for you to remember. Okay, let's look at the continuous writing now. 50 marks, time suggested will be 1 hour. So write a composition of about 350 words on one of the following topics. Okay, let's look at number 1. Write about you and your best friend's last preparation for the upcoming exam. Explain how this preparation has made your friendship get stronger and what you have learned through this. Okay, so the types of writing we have. This is a description. Okay, number 2, write a story about how you became a hero during an emergency situation. Explain what the misfortune was and what you have learned from the incident. So this is a narrative or a story where you have to begin your story with, I was awakened by the sound of voices. Okay, number 3, describe a person you admire the most. Provide a brief background, reasons you admire him or her, and explain what this person has taught you through sacrifices he or she has made in life. So definitely this is another description. If you look at number one can be a mixture of number 1 here. So this is describing the last preparation for your exam. So this also can be a part of a story. Okay, now moving on to number 4. Young people nowadays lack good manners. How far do you agree with this statement? Give reasons to support your view. So here it is giving opinion or an argumentative types of writing or an argumentative essay. Okay, let's look at number 5, the last option. Pollution has become a serious problem of the people nowadays. Discuss the challenges society are facing to have a clean environment and the responsibilities that should be taken by the community to protect it. Okay, so this is expository essay or a factual one. Okay, so you have 5 options or topics here. Okay, now we're going to look at one by one. Okay, let's look at number 1. So, write about you and your best friend's last preparation for the upcoming exam. Explain how this preparation has made your friendship get stronger and what you have learned through this. Okay, so this is a bit like a draft. Remember that you must have you and your best friend, and then it's better to have a name for your best friend. And then, what's the preparation for your upcoming exam? Okay, so you have already prepared, right? Because it is describing your last preparation. So maybe you can say that you can write sentences about studying together, going for tuition classes, or exchanging notes. Okay. Then the next one, we can have how this preparation made your friendship stronger. And then the last one, lesson learned. Maybe you learn the values of having a friend. Okay, then reminder, when last preparation, you are describing some events that happen or how you prepared for the exam. So you can use past tense. Okay, and then for the upcoming exam, so you will be sitting for the exam. So when you describe the coming exam, maybe you can use present tense. Okay, so after this slide, you're going to see an example uh, for this topic. Okay, it is a long essay, so I'm going to play the audio. So now we're going to listen to the example or sample essay.
Exam time can equal prepare for tomorrow. Tensions run high. There's lots of pressure. School can be competitive and friendships can get a little strained. Friends can be a great source of support during exam time, but they can also distract you from studying. They may even add to your stress levels if they're not handling their own exam preparation well. To prepare for the upcoming examination, my friend, Nancy, and I had to start early. We had been keeping up on a daily and weekly basis, so we were in good shape. It was easier when it came to getting serious about preparing for an exam. As to how we went about it, the first thing we made was a plan, starting with the day 1 month before the exam. It was the first day to start studying in earnest. We planned out how many hours we would spend each day studying until the exam. We made a schedule and stuck to it. We also made sure to leave time for group study or a few sessions. The second thing was to outline the materials we needed to study. This helped us to develop a big picture overview of the material, starting with big topics and then the subtopics. Once we saw all the units of information in front of us, it was easier to organize our studying time together. It helped break up the materials into parts and cover a little each day. Sometimes I did this part alone in my quiet study place. At other times, we covered the difficult topics together in either my house or hers.
Okay, so just now you listen to the audio for the first slide. So the introduction is here, which is the first one. Okay, this is the introduction. So you can talk about examination, the feeling of sitting for an exam. Okay, then later on, you can introduce your friend. Okay, here the name is Nancy. And then you can write the steps that you have taken to prepare for the upcoming exam. So when you mention let me change it to a highlighter. Okay, when you mention this is the name Nancy, so when you mention the process, you can use past tense. So for example, as how we went about it, so you can use past tense. We made a plan. Okay, so this is the first step, step number 1, and then this is step number 2. So for the students who are watching, if you have any questions, you can ask in the live chat. Then I can look at it and then I can answer your questions. So the first one, the process was to make a plan, and the second one was to outline the materials. So for both processes here or the steps, you can use past tense. For example, to outline the materials we needed to study. This help us. So these are the some of the examples. Then you can for the word saw. It was easier. It helped break. I did. So you can see the usage of past tense. Okay, we can continue. So moving on to the second slide.
Nancy is a big support to me, such as by helping me with subjects like geography and additional mathematics. I assisted her in return. It could be by helping her with a different subject, by reading and commenting on an essay she'd written. We even did something fun together, such as going for a walk to take a break or playing our favorite game, chess. Later, we also worked with others. We went to review sessions or a tutor. To find out if we understood what we had been studying, we worked with more friends who would ask us questions about the subjects. If we could answer and explain concepts without too much effort, then we knew that we are prepared for the upcoming exam. Usually, by doing this, we also knew the areas that require more attention and study. Studying with my friend has numerous advantages compared to studying alone. When we are part of a study group, we are accountable to more than just ourselves. Nancy depends on me to be at regularly scheduled meetings. This will increase my motivation for studying and curb procrastination. Besides, we would be able to remind each other about study times and due dates. I was able to ask my friend questions about the coursework that I might not have understood. She was able to explain concepts and clarify any doubts I had.
Okay, now let's look at the second slide. Okay, now you must write example what you have done with Nancy, okay, in the study group. So you can say that you are helping each other with the subjects, and then how Nancy helped you, and then how you help Nancy by writing, I assisted her in return. It could be helping her with a different subject, and then maybe you can write reading and also commenting on an essay she had written. And then you can write fun things that you did with your friend. Okay, then next step, you can also write about working with others, how both of you uh, discuss with more friends. Okay, so these are some ideas that you can write for this essay. And then next one, you can write the advantages. Why do you need to have a study group or study with your friend? So first one is you can write that you are accountable. Accountable means you have more responsibility towards each other. And then you can also write about you reminding each other about your study time and also the due dates. You can ask questions and then your friend can help you to explain. Okay, let's move on to the last slide.
Furthermore, by reviewing the materials again and again, I managed to retain information better. Nancy no doubt has different viewpoints. By discussing these topics, debating each point, and arguing our opinions, we were able to look at problems from different perspectives. This could be helpful in critical thinking, idea generation, and creative problem solving. Studying alone can be boring. I used to check my phone to see if I had any messages, and often got distracted by going online. The study group can help us stay on task. Plus, with friends, studying can be fun. We can make jokes, create funny examples, and even hang out after study time is over. Working in a group setting sets the stage for how a real-life workplace operates. We learn how to cooperate with different people, manage a team, practice our listening skills, negotiate, and much more. All of these skills come in handy in a professional environment. Studying with my friend, Nancy has made me better prepared for the exam. I feel more confident and in control. I have discovered new things about Nancy through our study group. We've learned about our strengths and weaknesses, goals and motivations, and even the hardships we're facing. Sharing these personal things has definitely made us better friends.
Okay, so for the third slide, you can write more about the advantages. So you can write about discussing the topics. Then you can talk about how you debate the points or your opinions, and then how this is good for you. So you're going to develop critical thinking, you generate ideas, and also you can solve problem creatively. Okay, then the next one, you can mention why studying with friend can be um, a plus point. For example, it helps you stay on task. And then you can also put in the fun you have when you study with your friend. So you can make jokes, okay? You can create funny examples, and also you can hang out after study time. And then you can mention that when you study in a group or with a friend, it is also part of a learning process as you grow up and go to the real working world. Okay, so it is the stage for how a real life workplace operates. And then this is the last one, which is the conclusion. Okay, for the conclusion, you can write the reason or the benefits of having Nancy as a partner for you to prepare for your exam. Okay, you feel more confident, you are in control, and then you discover more things about Nancy. So you learn each other's strength and weaknesses, and also you know that your goals and you have motivations, and you can even understand some hardships that Nancy is facing. So definitely all these things made you and Nancy better friends. So the length of this essay is about 711 words. So this is maybe a bit long for the average or the weaker students. But you can still get some ideas on how to write on the topic. Okay, so let me repeat. I will show the topic again. Okay, so remember, you're writing about how you and your best friends prepare for the upcoming exam. Okay, then how this make your friendship stronger and what you learn through all this. So remember, you have to answer all this. Okay, you and your best friend, the preparation, how the friendship became stronger, and then you must mention the value of having a friend to prepare for your exam. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, this is the second question. Okay, write a story about how you became a hero during an emergency situation. Okay, so explain what the misfortune was and what you have learned from the incident. So this is definitely a story. Begin your story with I was awakened by the sound of voices. So the draft, there must be a misfortune during an emergency. So maybe there was a flood. Okay. Then maybe there was a flood, or you can write about a fire, or you can write about an accident. And then how you became a hero. To become a hero here, in the story, you must write that you save someone or you save something. Okay, next, the lesson learned. What have you learned from the incident? Okay, so the incident, maybe you learn that you need to help each other, you cannot be selfish or you cannot be careless, and you must cooperate. So these are some examples of the values or lesson learned. And then let's look at the tenses. So became a hero. So this incident had happened. So remember, you need to use past tense and you can also use past perfect tense. Okay, now for the next slide, you're gonna see the example.
I was awakened by the sound of voices. There was a loud commotion somewhere. I opened my eyes and lay listening. I could hear shouts and screams coming from the outside. Sensing that something was wrong, I quickly threw on my t-shirt and slipped into a pair of jeans, discarding my cotton pajamas, and rushed downstairs. My parents were already at the door. Father glanced at me and told me to be careful. Mother gave him the house key, and in seconds we were out of the house. I had never seen a house on fire before, only filmed reports of it on the television. There was a huge crowd gathered at one of the houses further up the street. The house was ablaze and thick clouds of smoke were floating up into the clouds. I stood there gazing dumbfounded as my father went back into the house and made an urgent call to the fire department. Then He ran out again towards the house on fire. I followed him, still in a daze. It was Mr. On's house. Mr. On and his wife were safely out of the house, but their young daughter was still trapped inside the burning inferno. I could see the anxious parents trying to get near the house, only to be held back by some of the residents. The neighbors had formed a human chain and were using buckets of water to put out the fire, but it was of no avail.
Okay, so now let's look at the first slide and the content. So remember that you must use the given words. I was awakened by the sound of voices. So it is compulsory to write these given words. Okay, so you're going to talk about, remember it is a story that happened. So you must use past tense. Like there was a loud commotion somewhere. Commotion is a lot of noises. Uh, there is something going on. So for example, something happens, so people would gather and they make a lot of noises. So there is a commotion there. So you can use I opened my eyes and lay listening. So you can use past tense. Okay, remember when you use past tense, for the word can, you must use could. Okay, you cannot use can for past tense. So I could hear shouts and screams coming from the outside. So the shouts and the screams are the commotion. Okay, you can talk about how you dash out of the house. Okay, then you can write you had never seen a house on fire before, and then you can describe the fire. There was huge crowd. Okay, the house was ablaze. Then you can talk about thick clouds of smoke. Okay, and next you can talk about calling the ambulance, urgent call to the fire departments and also police and ambulance. Okay, the next paragraph is about the burning house. Okay, so the house belonged to Mr. Ong. Okay, who was trapped in the house? Their young daughter was trapped in the house. Okay, the burning inferno. Burning inferno here refers to fire. When you write about what the neighbors did, you can say that they form a human chain and they pour buckets of water onto the fire. Okay, but no avail. No avail means their effort was not successful. Okay, moving on to the second slide.
I could hear the frantic cries of the young girl inside the burning house. I know that Mr. has a daughter, and I had seen her on several occasions when I was out jogging in the neighborhood. As the residents were busy carrying and throwing buckets of water, they did not notice my action. Without thinking twice, I rushed towards Mr. On's house and hurled myself at the door. I did this twice, but the door did not budge. Immediately, I turned the door handle. The door opened. I ran into the house, hearing frantic shouts behind me. I was almost overcome by the thick smoke. I held my breath and managed to locate the young girl. She was crouching at the foot of the stairs, wailing for her parents. When she saw me, she rushed forward and was in my embrace, her arms quivering. "Don't worry, girl. I'm here to save you." I looked at her, trying to hide my anxiety as my voice trembled. As thick, black smoke began filling the room, I knew that I had to act fast. I hoisted her over my right shoulder and dashed out of the house. The neighbors and my parents greeted me and further lifted both of us to safety. I placed the girl on a grass patch. Mr. and Mrs. hugged their daughter tightly and breathed a sigh of relief. Mrs. thanked me for my help and said that she was very grateful. I was speechless and I became the hero at that moment. All of residents gave me a round of applause and some cheered and praised my effort. And I was proud of myself too. Everyone was happy to see the girl reuniting with her parents.
So this is the second slide. You are describing the situation. The girl you could hear. So remember, use the word would, not I can hear. I could hear frantic cries of the young girl. So this girl was trapped in the burning house. And then you must write that you know that Mr. Ong has a daughter and that you had seen her on several occasions. Okay, so the next action, you have to write how you became a hero. So you can write, you rush towards the burning house, and then you can write that you flung yourself or furl yourself at the door. So you were trying to you were trying to open the door. Okay, so you furl yourself or threw yourself at the door twice, but the door did not budge, so the door did not open. So you can write that you turn the knob, and then because it was not locked, okay, the door opened, and then you ran into the house looking for the girl. So these are all the actions that you have done to save the girl. Okay, you can say that you held your breath, and then you managed, because of the smoke here, okay, you have to hold your breath, and then you managed to locate the young girl. So where was she? She was sitting crouching at the foot of the stairs. Wailing me, she was crying for her parents. Okay, then you can see that she rushed into your arms, and then her arms were quivering. Quivering means they were shaking. Okay, then how you save her? Okay, then you can write, as black thick smoke began filling the room, you knew that I, okay, this is wrong here. This is had. Okay, I just make a correction here, that I had. So it's HAD. Okay, so let's use a pen. So for this, I had. No, I have. Okay, so there is an error here. So I knew that I had to act fast. So I hoisted her over my right shoulder. Okay, hoisted here means to, I change the pen again. So let's use yellow, okay? Uh, Hoisted means to carry her over your shoulder, and then you dash out of the house. Okay, the neighbors and your parents greeted you, and then you were brought to safety. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Ong, they hugged their daughter, and then you can write they breathe a sigh of relief. So means they were happy that the daughter was saved. And then the mother, Mrs. Ong, thank you. Okay, thank me for my help and said that she was very grateful. So you can write that thank, and then the feeling of grateful. So this is how you became the hero. Okay, so the residents applauded, and they cheered, and they praised your effort. So you can write all these words or ideas in your story. Okay, let's look at the last slide.
Soon, the fire brigade and ambulance arrived. The paramedics quickly transported the girl to the hospital accompanied by Mr. and Mrs. R. Dozens of firemen from the 4 fire engines were busily engaged in putting out the fire. The firemen took another hour to put out the fire. The fire rose to about 20 meters and it lit up the whole area even though the sky was already dark. The firemen desperately sprayed streams of water into the fire to control it. The firemen used their big hoses and sprayed water on the neighboring houses too to prevent the fire from spreading. The rushing water from several hoses soaked the houses, but it did not seem to have any effect on the flames. Mr. Ong's house was completely ruined. A few days later, Mr. and Mrs. Ong came to my house. Their daughter was still recovering in hospital. She had suffered some minor burns. The couple thanked me for rescuing their daughter. They wanted to give me some presents, but I declined as I knew that they had suffered great loss and needed money to repair their house. They told us that they were staying temporarily with their cousin and were looking for a rented house. My parents promised to help them, and father made a call to the head of the residential association. My parents were proud of my action, but reminded me that it was a great risk and I was also putting myself in danger. I am extremely glad that my school made educating and preparing students for a fire emergency a priority. Firemen have conducted monthly school fire drills in which every one of us participated. The students were trained on how to respond to a fire alarm during a school fire drill, and we had special lessons on fire safety education. I feel that the lessons and drills are of great advantage for me and gave me the confidence to rescue the girl.
Okay, that's the end of the story. So next one, in this paragraph, you can write about what the firemen did. Okay, you can write that how they were trying to put out the fire. Okay, put out, you can also use the word extinguish the fire. You can describe the fire. For example, the fire rose to about 20 meters and it lit up the whole area even though the sky was already dark. They can talk about the firemen who sprayed streams of water, okay, into the fire to control it. Then you can write the end of it. Okay, so in this story, Mr. Ong's house was ruined, so the house could not be safe. Okay, then for the last two paragraphs, you can write that Mr. Ong and Mrs. Ong visited you. Okay, and then you can write that their daughter was still recovering and how they thank you, and also they wanted to give you some presents. And lastly, you can write about the lesson that you learn. Okay, you can say that your parents, they were proud of you, but it was a great risk. Okay, because you, when you tried to save the girl, you rushed into the house, so it was quite dangerous. But you can write that you were glad that the school had some classes or education classes and drills or training for fire safety. So you can write the firemen have conducted fire drills. Okay, when in school, when you watch how they put out the fire, and then they also train you how to respond to fire alarm during a school fire drill, and also you had some fire safety education in your classes. So you can write the end is, I feel that the lessons and the drills are of great advantage for me and gave me the confidence to rescue the girl. So this essay is about 866 words. Okay, let's move on. So the third one, describe a person you admire the most. So okay, a person. It can be someone that you know or someone that who is famous. Okay, provide a brief background. So remember, there must be a background. Reasons you admire him or her and explain what this person has taught you through sacrifices he or she has made in life. Okay, let's look at the draft. It must be a person you admire. You can even write about your father, mother, or anyone who is famous. Okay, then there must be some details of the background. Maybe about the person's education or some experiences. And then you must write reasons why you admire the person. So when you admire a person, definitely they must have positive traits. Positive traits means the positive characteristics of the person. And then lesson taught by him or her sacrifice. What have you learned from the sacrifices that this person has made in his or her life? Okay, now for the tenses. When you write background information, definitely you have to write past tense because uh, this person has gone through their education and has gone through some important experiences. So remember to use past tense. And then when you write reasons for choosing this person, you are talking about the traits or the characteristics. So use present tense. For example, you're going to describe that this person is hardworking, so you can use present tense. Okay, if writing about a past event, for example, you want to give an example what this person did. So use past tense. Okay, now you're going to look at the sample essay. So this essay is about a famous scientist.
The person I admire most is someone I have never met and will never meet. She is Marie Curie, one of the most eminent scientists the world has ever known. So great is her influence on me that I often think in terms of atoms and molecules. I suppose I admire her most because I want to be a scientist and she is, I believe, the idol of aspiring scientists. Never will mankind forget her stupendous discoveries as thousands, if not millions, of lives have been saved by her persistent search for truth. She was born in Poland in the year 1867 and at a very young age. Her exceptional abilities were recognized by everyone. At the age of 16, she finished her education, winning the gold medal for being the most brilliant student. From then onwards, she worked very hard as a governess so that she could provide for her sister, Bologna, and help her acquire a sound knowledge of medicine. This is only one of the many instances which proves to us her kind-hearted nature.
Okay, so this is the first slide of the essay. So the person you admire, Madam or Marie Curie, Madam Marie Curie. Okay, so this is the introduction, and then you write about why you admire her. Okay, because of her stupendous discoveries. Stupendous means splendid discoveries. Okay, then the paragraph 3. This is the background. So you have the person. Okay, and then you introduce a person. She's a scientist or she was a scientist. And then she had a lot of discoveries. Okay, this is the background. Some background details like born in Poland, the year 1867. And then at the age of 16, she finished her education, winning the gold medal for being the most brilliant student. So this is about her education. And then later on, you can write about her working experience. So when you write, remember use past tense. So she worked as a governess because she wanted to provide her sister uh, the okay, what's her sister's name? Bronya. So she wanted to help her to further her studies. So by working as a governess, she could earn money and send her sister to uh, maybe medical school. Okay, so the first characteristic is kind-hearted. So you have mentioned the first positive trait of this person. So let's move on to the second slide.
Another admirable quality of hers was her love for Poland. She was very much against Poland being ruled by Russia but realized that she could not do anything to alter this situation. The first element she discovered, polonium, was named after her native country. She was beautiful and, for a lady, had plenty of courage and determination to put forward her theory of the phenomenon now known as radioactivity. The scientists in those days refused even to consider what she believed, saying that she was only a lady. She, however, was able to prove what she believed, mainly with her husband's help, and was subsequently awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Her husband, Pierre, was a Frenchman whom she married at the age of 28. He too was a scientist and gave her all the encouragement that was needed for her success. She loved him dearly and his death was a shocking experience to her. She was in a state of shock for many weeks and never really recovered from it. She, however, realized that she had to continue her work for all the others who would benefit from it and was more than successful in doing so. She was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics and is the first person to have received this prize twice.
Okay, now let's look at the second slide. So you're going to write about another admirable quality that she had. Okay, so it was her love for her country. So this is the characteristic of being patriotic. Okay, then you can talk about her physical description. She was beautiful, and then more of her traits. She was courageous, and then she showed determination. Okay, as scientists those days, most of them were men, right? So they refused to consider or believe in her because she was a lady. Okay, that was her struggle, but she was able to prove what she believed in because who helped her? Okay, her husband helped her. And then she received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Later on, another Nobel Prize for Physics. Okay, this is a bit of the background. Her husband, Pierre, she married him at the age of 28. Okay, this is more information or some background about this person. Okay, you can write also that she loved her husband very much. So she was a very loving person. And then when her husband died, okay, it was a shocking experience for her. Okay, then you can write about her courage. She continued her work. Okay, let's look at the last slide. Remember that all this you must write in past tense. And then when you are describing her, okay, for example, she was beautiful. So you use the word was. Okay, but okay, if the person is alive, Madam Curie is already dead. But if you're writing about somebody who is alive, you're supposed to use is. Okay, for example, you're going to describe a famous person. So you can say she is beautiful. But like Madam Curie here, she is already dead, so you use was.
She was practical and realistic in her outlook. This is clearly illustrated by the manner in which her two daughters were brought up. She made them aware of the hardships of life and they grew up as independent youngsters. She also made it clear to them that life was not a road strewn with roses. Radium, another of the elements she discovered, is being used to cure cancerous growths and has saved millions of lives. It is of interest to note that she took all this as an obligation and was never proud of her achievements. She remained humble throughout her life. Never will the world forget this brave and courageous woman. She is the person I admire most, and I trust many others admire her too.
Let's look at the last slide. Okay, so just now I mentioned the word was. If the person is still alive, you can use the word is. Okay, it is better to use is if the person is alive. So you can write, for example, he or she is practical and realistic in her or his outlook. So if the person is alive, use present tense. Okay, then you look at the sacrifice, some of the sacrifices. You can talk about how she raised her children, her daughters, two daughters. Okay, she made them aware of the hardship of life and they grew up as independent youngsters. Okay, and then she also made it clear to them that life was not a road strewn with roses. Okay, and then you can talk about her discovery. She also discovered radium. Radium is used to cure cancers or cancerous growth. And then you can also write, okay, what she did. She took all this as an obligation. So she did all the research and she worked hard because for her it was an obligation. That's why she was never proud of her achievement. And then you can write, she remained humble throughout her life. So these are some of the positive characteristics of Madame Curie. Okay, you can write the last paragraph, which is the closing. It is a short one. So you can say she's brave, she was brave, and then courageous. That's why you admire this person the most. Okay, this essay is in about 522 words. Okay, so far I've discussed three sample essays. Let me look at the live chat there. For the students who are watching, do you have any questions? Any questions? Can you understand the three sample essays or the topics that we have discussed? So I don't see any questions in the chat there. If you have a question, you can ask. Okay, I see Hazri is here, and also there's Brenda Tan. Okay, no. Hopefully you can understand this. Okay, my advice would be you can write essay number 3 and also number 2, because number 2 is about a story of becoming a hero, and number 3 is description of a person. So I encourage for the SPM students, you can concentrate on two types of continuous writing. One is description and another one is uh, narration. So for narration, you can memorize topics like fire, flood, robbery, accident, and also some happy events like a birthday celebration, a festival, or maybe a wedding ceremony. Okay, because narrations and descriptions are easier to write. So moving on, let's look at number 4. Be careful with topics about factual essays and also arguments where you have to give your opinions. Like for example, the phrase "Do you agree?" So actually, these type of topics are quite hard. Okay, let's look at number 4. Young people nowadays lack good manners. How far do you agree? So do you see the word "do you agree" here? Okay, this is more on you have to argue or give your opinions. Okay, how far you agree with this statement? Give reasons to support your view. Okay, remember you're writing about young people. This is a draft. So when you get this out of question, you have to underline. For example, you underline young people, then you underline lack good manners. Okay, or you can write somewhere in the question paper. So young people lack good manners. For example, they do not greet, they do not apologize, okay, and other problems. And then you have to give your reasons. Why do you think young people nowadays lack good manners? So the reason here could be hard, okay? So this is not easy to write because you have to find reason why youngsters are behaving in such a way. Okay, so next one, look at the tenses. Manners. So you have to use present tense because this is how youngsters nowadays are behaving. So it's better to use present tense. But when writing an example or an incident, you can use past tense. Okay, let's look at the example now. When I'm playing the slides, can you hear the audio? Hopefully you can hear, okay?
It would be gross injustice to categorize all children and youths as lacking in manners and demands, but the general trend would certainly suggest there has been a major decline among them. Good manners were once the norm, with young people very much aware the older generation. Saying please and thank you, giving up a seat on the bus and holding open doors were all considered normal mannerly behavior. One factor is the advancement of technology. Technology has changed people's lifestyles. Today, with the availability of online games on the internet, many young people rarely go out and play with friends but spend most of their time playing online games at home. Since they do not socialize and interact with people face to face, they lack the soft skills like compromising and negotiating. negotiating, and this affects their communication and socializing skills. This is why they sometimes have difficulty in showing respect to others. At the same time, they have problems sharing their opinions with others and giving opinions in a discussion. For example, they think they have channeled their ideas correctly. However, they do not realize that there are some cultural aspects involved in communication, such as being polite and respecting the elderly to them. As long as they get the message across, their job is done. At times, the choice of words and the non-verbal signals they use to convey their message are not appropriate. This affects communication, especially with the elderly.
Okay, let's look at the first slide. So we are talking about lacking in manners and morals. Okay, so the first sentence it will be gross injustice to categorize all children and youth are lacking. So the first sentence say not everybody, okay, but some of them. But the general trend would certainly suggest that there has been a major decline among many of them. Okay, so for example, good manners. Good manners used to be saying please, saying thank you, giving up a seat on a bus, and opening or holding open doors. Okay, this used to be normal manners. Okay, so then this is the introduction, and then you can write your first reason. Okay, why youngsters lack good manners. So the first reason you can write will be the advancement of technology. Technology has changed everyone's lifestyle. Okay, nowadays you have online games. Okay, so you rarely go out and play with friends. So what happened? You are at home playing online games. So youngsters do not socialize and interact with people face to face. That's why they lack the soft skill like compromising and negotiating, and this affect their communication and socializing skill. Compromising is to tolerate each other. Negotiate means you learn how to speak to people properly in certain situations. Okay. What else? Okay. So this is why sometimes they have difficulty in showing respect to others. Because why? Because this technology affected or is affecting your communication and socializing skills. Okay, you can see that the first essay was how you prepare for your exam, right? So that is still an easy topic. But when you are looking at topic 4, you will realize that this is quite difficult because first, there are a lot of ideas. Okay, then the ideas some are uh, no, it's not easy for you to write about because you seldom read magazines or newspaper reports or articles in English. So you may have the ideas, but sometimes you cannot express in English. And secondly, there are a lot of terms or the language is different, the terminology is difficult. Okay, for example, you have advancement of technology, you have the word communication, socializing, okay, compromising, negotiating. So these are difficult words. So to write an essay where you give opinions, you have to be very careful. If possible, try not to write this type of essays. Okay, so next we also have another example or another factor. Okay, so another problem will be you do not know how to share your opinion with others. Okay, so what happened? You think you have given your ideas, you think you have channeled your ideas correctly, but you do not realize there are some cultural aspects in communication. So you can see all the big words are here, right? Okay, so in communication, you have to be polite, you have to respect, okay, especially people who are older than you. Okay, but for youngsters, When you get your message across, you feel that is this is good enough. Okay, but your choice of words and the non-verbal signal, this is like your body language. Okay, when you are trying to maybe give your answer or maybe convey something, okay, they may not be appropriate. So this affect the communication, especially with the older generation. So you can see that writing this type of essay is not easy, right? Okay, let's move on.
The second factor is lack of parental guidance and good role models. All of us know that today's parents are busy earning a living to provide their children with a good education, a good home, and a comfortable life. They do not want their children to be left behind in their studies, but be on par, if not better, than other children. As a result, children are left alone in the care of maids or are sent to the nursery. In the end, parents themselves complain of the difficulty they face in raising their children. The children themselves blame parents for not getting sufficient love and care. Some rebel to attract parents' attention, and when they continue their studies at university, they tend to carry over this bad behavior. They create problems and become troublemakers to attract lecturers' attention. Lecturers, therefore, should know how to tackle these students and help them become better persons. Next, these young people experience less hardships in life. Today, technological advancements have made life easier. Thus, when they do not experience hardships in life, they feel they are not responsible for certain things and are able to get what they want easily. All they need to do is just ask. Through observation, young people appear to lack the willingness to help others, respect others, and also appreciate time. When they lack these qualities, they become bold and arrogant and have less respect for lecturers. There are students who always come late to class and do not even apologize for their tardiness. Some even ignore the advice given by their lecturers and talk back to them.
Okay, these are more factors about the negative behavior of youngsters. So the second can be lack of parental guidance. And then also you do not have good role models. Okay, you can write about your parents being busy earning a living because they want to provide you a good education, a good home, and a comfortable life. Okay, so when they are busy, so you are left alone, okay, in the care of mates, or you are sent off to a nursery. This is when you are small. So in the end, they complain about the difficulty they face in raising children. Okay, and then children also can blame their parents because they do not get sufficient love and care. Okay, some rebel. Rebel means you fight. You go against your parents. Why? Because you want their attention. And then sometimes when uh, from secondary school you go to university, you tend to carry over this bad behavior too. Okay, your negative characteristics. So you create problems. Okay, then you become troublemakers in universities or in higher learning institutions. Okay. So if you do not want to write lecturers, therefore should know how to tackle this student and help them become better person, you can cancel this. Okay, because it is more about youngsters. So this is more about the lecturers. So maybe you can cancel this sentence. Okay. So let's look at the next one. Next. Okay, another reason. You lack or you do not experience hardship in your life. Okay, life is easier for you now. Why? Because there is technological advancement. So life is not hard for you. So when you do not experience hardship in life, you are not responsible for certain things. Why? Because you're able to get what you want easily. Okay, you can get what you want easily. So you can see here, we are using all a lot of present tense, right? they do not want. Okay, the children are left alone when they do not experience. So these are all present tense. They feel or they need. Okay, so remember, normally you write using present tense. Okay, so when you do not experience hardship, so you are not willing to help others. Okay, so you also do not respect others. So this is the earlier character that we mentioned in the earlier paragraph. And the last one is you do not appreciate time. Okay, so because of this quality, uh, youngsters are bold. Bold is brave and arrogant. Okay, and then they have less respect. Okay, not only for lecturers, because maybe this you can write for teachers also, for all for the elderly. Okay, the lecturers here is referring to you when you are in the university. Okay, so when you have no respect for time, you come late to class. Okay, and then uh, when you are late, you do not even apologize. So these are some of the characteristics. Okay, you have to write when you are writing about this topic. Okay, and then you can even write ignore advisors given, or you can talk about answering or talking back to um, the lecturers or older people. Okay, it's not easy to write, right? Because you have to mention the negative characteristics and the reasons. Okay, let's move on. We still have one more slide to go.
They also tend to look down on others since they feel other people are not important. They do things to benefit themselves and ignore others' feelings. This is why it is important to let students experience some hardships so that they learn to appreciate things and have respect for others. These students cannot live in isolation but are dependent on others for survival and success. At university, for example, they depend on lecturers and friends for knowledge and problem sharing. In conclusion, there is a gap between the old and young generations. In order to reduce the gap, parents need to play their roles. They also need to be helped by other parties like teachers and the community. Similarly, youngsters themselves have to change for the better. They cannot blame others for who and what they are. Instead, they should improve themselves and strive to excel both academically and socially.
Okay, this is the last two paragraphs. So there is another negative characteristic. So look down on others. Why? Maybe because youngsters feel others are not so important. Okay, so they do only things which benefit themselves, and then they ignore others' feeling. Okay, so the advice would be youngsters need to experience some hardship. Why? Because if they experience hardship, they will learn to appreciate things and they have respect for others. Okay, and then this is the conclusion, the last paragraph. You can write in conclusion. Definitely, there is a gap, or there are some differences between the old and the young generation. Okay, so everyone needs to play their role, like parents, okay, like teachers, the community, okay, they have to help each other out. And for youngsters themselves, you have to change for the better. You cannot blame others for who you are, but you have to improve yourself and then strive to excel both academically and socially. Okay, so it is not only you're trying to strive for excellence in your academic performances or in your exams. So socially also youngsters have to be better or show more positive characteristics. So this sample essay is in 662 words. Okay, we moving on. Moving on, we are going to do the last topic. Okay, what's the last topic? Okay, this is also difficult. This is more on giving information. Okay, about what? Pollution. So let's look at the topic. Pollution has become a serious problem of the people nowadays. So this is on pollution. Discuss the challenges the society are facing to have a clean environment, and then the responsibilities that should be taken by the community. So this is also a difficult topic. First, let's look at the draft. Pollution. So it is a serious problem. So you can write types of pollution, air pollution, water pollution. Do you have what else? Noise pollution. Okay, and then you must write challenges faced by the society. Okay, challenges here will be the problems related to pollution. So you must be able to mention the problems. And then responsibilities means what you and the community should do. So if you look at the sentence here, okay, responsibilities should be taken by the community. Okay, so remember these are steps or actions the community can take to protect the earth. Okay, or to protect it. It here can be the earth or the environment. So this is a big topic too. A lot of facts. Okay, let's look at the tenses. Problem. Okay, problem. It is still a challenge. Means the problem is still happening. Okay, pollution is still around. Pollution is, we have air pollution. Okay, air is polluted, water is polluted. Okay, so it is still a challenge. So you must use present tense. And then when you write about actions or responsibilities, you also use present or you can use future tense. Okay, let's look at the last sample essay number 5.
Pollution means contamination, and there are many different types of pollution, such as environmental pollution and noise pollution. Environmental pollution is the biggest challenge facing humanity, as pollution of the air and sea directly affects our lives. The human existence can come under threat if pollution level increases to hazardous level. In fact, some country frequently faces the haze-related pollution yearly due to wildfires in their neighboring country, aggravated by the practice of open burning in our country. Factories too are culprits, as they emit pollutants and hazardous waste substances either into the air or into the sea. The increasing number of vehicles which emit dangerous carbon monoxide and greenhouse gases add to the danger we face from pollution. The Earth's atmosphere is constantly being exposed to hazardous materials due to rapid development and human activity to advance their lives. The industrial West, like America and Europe, is the biggest culprit, as they are the world's biggest polluters. Society can play a role in helping to reduce pollution and create a healthy atmosphere for us to engage in activities without fear for our health. They can contribute to reducing the emission of harmful gas into the air by either using public transportation, carpooling, or cycling to places which are near. Most students go to school either by car or school bus, and people who are working normally drive to their places of work. Carbon monoxide released by these vehicles is very harmful when breathed in large quantities. It can even cause deaths. Those who stay at a distance from their school or office should either carpool or use the services of a school bus or public transportation. This can drastically cut down emissions from vehicles, especially during peak hours.
Okay, now let's look at the first slide. So the first paragraph, which is the introduction, you have to mention what is pollution. Okay, pollution is contamination, and there are various types of pollution, such as environmental pollution and noise pollution. Environmental is referring to land or soil, water, and air pollution. Okay, so you can talk about the challenge. Okay, for example, you have haze, then you have wildfires, you have also problems of factories, okay, because they emit pollutants, and then you have also problem for vehicles because of the emission of carbon monoxide, and also you have greenhouse gases. Okay, so the earth is constantly being exposed to hazardous materials. Okay, why? Because due to rapid development and also human activities to advance their life. Okay, when you see all these words, you know that this is also a difficult topic because this is more on factual and you have to give a lot of uh, details. Okay, let's look at the second paragraph. This is referring to the society or the community. Okay, how can the society help, okay, in reducing pollution? So you can write, you reduce the emission of harmful gas or gases. Okay, how? Using public transportation, carpool, or cycling. Okay, so you can talk about students going to school by car or by bus, and then people going to work. Okay, so carbon monoxide here is harmful, and then it can also cause death. Okay, here there is a full stop. Okay, let me change this. We can use a comma here, okay, or a full stop. If a full stop, this is the capital or uppercase I. It can cause death. And then remember, there is one spelling that I saw here. Okay, neighboring. Be careful. You have to use British spelling because if you use American spelling, most of the words you have to use American spelling. Okay, so this is a U is missing, so you must use British spelling, BOURING, neighboring. Okay, so let's continue. So because of this harmful gas, okay, it's polluting the air. So what can you do? You have to carpool or you use service of a school bus or you can use public transportation. Okay, so this is the first one, and this is suggesting, okay, or a suggestion. This is a suggestion or how the society or community can reduce pollution. So it is either to carpool, this one carpool, okay, or use service of a school bus or use public transportation, or you can even cycle. Okay, let's look at the next slide.
Open burning is another major source of air pollution. Burning fish openly releases many harmful chemicals and gases, thus should be avoided altogether. Many adults themselves are unaware of this. It is the duty of the community to spread this awareness and even set an example by tying up garbage or garden refuse in garbage bags to be collected by council workers. Smoking too pollutes the atmosphere. The number of smokers in the country has not declined despite nationwide campaigns against smoking. Smoking among students has become a trend, and thus it is vital that these students stop smoking to ensure an environment free from cigarette smoke. The later causes cancer and heart diseases, among others. In addition, the community can play their role. as responsible citizens by reporting to authorities if they come across vehicles spewing out smoke on the roads or factories emitting smoke and hazardous chemicals into the atmosphere. Immediate action would stem this problem, as there are many factories use the river as an outlet to channel their dangerous waste materials.
Okay, now the second slide. You can talk about the problem of open burning. So this is the air pollution. Okay, what can the society do? Okay, it is the duty of the community to spread this awareness and even set an example, okay, by tying up garbage. So you shouldn't burn your garbage. You should tie them up, okay, and put them in. You should put them in garbage bags and then tie the garbage bag up so that the garbage can be collected by the council workers. Council workers means the workers working with the town council or the majlis perbandaran. Okay, so you shouldn't encourage people to burn their rubbish openly. Okay, next. So the next problem will be smoking. Okay, how can you help? Okay, to reduce smoking because smoking also pollutes the air, right? Okay, so you can write about having uh, campaigns, although it did not help. Okay, so now it has become a trend. So it is vital is important that students stop smoking. Okay, so this smoke later causes cancer. So there is some missing information that you can write. Example, you can add here. Maybe you can say the community can have here, okay? The community can have uh, more campaign. Okay, you can write campaigns. Although just now you wrote that the sentence right here, despite the nationwide campaign, but people are still smoking. So what can you do? Okay, campaign. Okay, you can change it to okay, education. Okay, maybe education in classes. Next one, the last part will be as citizens. Okay, let's look at the last one. You can uh, report to the authorities. Okay, when you see like factories or cars, okay, emitting a lot of smoke, factories or cars, vehicles, okay, then you can report to the authority. Why? If you report, there will be immediate action, so it can solve the problem. So if you look at this essay, it is more on air pollution. Okay, you can write other suggestions like example. Okay, if you want to write about what the community can do, you can talk about okay, example, recycling. To save the environment, you can talk about the society can recycle things at home. Okay, recycling at home or at school or in the workplaces. Okay, so you can say recycling at home. Okay, what else can you do? You can talk about reusing certain items that can be recycled. Maybe turning that into craft, or you can talk about making, for example, turning recyclable items into. You can sell the recyclable items. You can turn that into craft. For example, you use like tires, or you can use maybe bottles, plastic bottles, and you turn them into vase or pots for flowers and so on. Okay, so you can write that also. But remember that it is more on the community. Okay, let's move on to the last slide. So you can see that it is not easy to write because you have to really draft out and then list all the actions or responsibilities. So maybe drafting, it takes a lot of time. So sometimes you will be wasting time on the drafting and then you do not have enough time to complete the essay. So let's look at the last slide.
Lastly, we should buy environmentally safe products, and these should be reasonably priced to be attractive to the average consumer. For example, not many people are aware of the existence of biodegradable products and their benefits in cutting down environmental pollution. Furthermore, many people who would be interested in buying recycled or environmentally friendly products are put off by the high prices charged for them. As such, there should be more encouragement for consumers to buy environmentally friendly products. Hence, each citizen has a role to play in reducing pollution. The latter is already contributing to global warming, which threatens our existence in the not too distant future. The understanding of the dangers of pollution has to start at a young age, and the next generation especially is well poised to live a life that is pollution free, as well as spread awareness on the importance of a safe future.
Okay, so let's look at the last slide here. Let me use the highlighter. Okay, so the last part is society should or the community should buy environmentally safe products. Okay, so you can see that many are not aware of this. Okay, many are not aware of the existence of the biodegradable products and their benefits. Okay, so you must use all these items because why? They can cut down or reduce environmental pollution. Okay, then, so one way to make sure that people will buy all these items, they have to reduce the high price. Okay, then this is the last paragraph. You can write that every citizen, because community is made up of citizens. Okay, so uh, everyone is a citizen. And then when you put everyone together, it becomes a community. So hence, each citizen has a role to play in reducing pollution. The latter, okay, look at the word the latter. The latter here is referring to the pollution. Okay, this is not right, wrong spelling because you have the word, let me use a pen first. Yeah, we have the word latter and former. Okay, let's look at the word former. Former. Okay, and then we have the word letter. Okay, so former here is referring to the first thing. Okay, the first thing mentioned. Letter is referring to the last thing mentioned. Okay, so when I write the letter here, it means that it is referring to the last item. Okay, so the last item here or the last object will be pollution. So the latter is already contributing to global warming. So it means that pollution is causing global warming. Okay, so this global warming threatens your existence. Okay, so threaten your existence means it could be the end of the world because of global warming. Okay, so the understanding of the dangers of pollution has to start at a young age. So it means that the community have to educate the young people and okay, the next generation too. Okay, so all the future generation. Okay, they are well poised to live a life that is pollution free. If you have education, So your poised means you are very certain that your life will be pollution free. Okay, and then when it is pollution free, you can guarantee a safe future. Okay, so this is the conclusion. Conclusion, you must talk about everybody has to play a role. Why? Because you want to have a safe future. Okay, you can see that for the last essay, the fifth essay or the fifth topic is also quite difficult. Okay, that's all. That's the end of the continuous writing. So I will end with my presentation, and then if you have questions, you can ask me. Okay, I'm going to end my show. Okay, then I'm going to move on to here. Okay, can you see? Okay, can you see me now? Okay, I'm looking at the chats now. Okay, I can see the comments here. Hazri is around. Okay, good evening, Hazri. I see Brenda Tan, Vanessa Yao, and also Sky Blue. Hi. Okay, hi. So, for those who are present, do you have any questions? Brenda Tan say thank you. Yes, you're welcome. Um, this continuous writing lesson is with the purpose of trying to tell you that to write continuous writing or to choose a topic, you have to be very careful because topics like giving opinion, factual essay or argument, they are quite hard to write, okay? Because you have to know the content, you need to have the content or the ideas or the information, and you need to have good vocabulary. So it's not easy to spot because I know that some Form 5 students or SPM candidates, they try to spot some questions. It is better for you to memorize essays like for description, a person, or event, or a place, and also to memorize stories like accident, flood, fire, robbery, because you can, when you get the five topics, you can adapt these questions easily. It is easy to make changes when you memorize essay for description and narration. Okay, I think that's all. We did a lesson for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I hope you have benefited from the lesson today. Any last questions? So if you want notes, if you are from my school, I will give to my class. Hazri is in my class. Okay, I can give Hazri the notes later on in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so from Hazri, maybe Hazri can pass the notes to the other students. Okay, any question? If you want the notes for today's lesson, okay? So there are five sample essays. Actually, I had another one, which is also on the description, the story on becoming a hero. So actually, there are six sample essays. So if you want them, I will pass to Hazri since Hazri is here today, and then maybe Hazri can pass to the others. Okay, that's all. Okay, I'm signing off. Thank you very much for coming today and for attending this lesson. Okay, bye bye.